Welcome to the Tay and Todd Washington Football Team podcast. This is Tay, your co-host, and my man Todd, and we are looking forward to a quick turnaround against your New York Giants. Todd, I don't know about you, but the city seems like it's buzzing. We have Taylor Heineke ready and locked and loaded. Todd, week 2, Thursday night, prime time. How you feeling?
I'm feeling like Washington better win this game or things could start to go south kind of quickly. But I also feel like they have a pretty good chance of winning this game for a number of reasons. And then I'm excited because we're going to be there. And I've been to, I don't remember, I counted yesterday, but basically majority of the games I've been to as a fan have been Giants games, and we've won pretty much all of them. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think me being there should give us a pretty good chance at winning, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And like you said, they're 0-1 without us being there. So I like our chances of us being at the game and we being the good luck charm. So hopefully it doesn't carry over that way, or else we're going to have to use those season passes.
Right. We're going to have to figure something out. That's what it takes to win. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I like the whole Spanish Latino heritage thing coming up tomorrow with, obviously my fiance being Mexican. So going to the game and we'll be taking a van of us. So looking forward to making a little field trip out of there. We're going to get out there early. And if you plan on coming, put down, you listen to this before the show, put down in the comments that you're coming. We'd love to meet up with you and maybe tailgate with you or at some point. And just try to get around and just talk some football. But I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. Looks like it's going to be, hopefully it's talking about thunderstorms, but I hope it's just overcast. And
right.
And, I love overcast. So that's like perfect for me. So I'm ready to roll, man.
Yeah, overcast would be good. So it's not hot. Hopefully it rains earlier in the day and the field is fixed. And then we'll be in the red zone lot. And then we're in section 134 is where we're sitting. I think row 7, I'm pretty sure. That. So we should be at our seats early. So we definitely love to meet people. But like you said, a quick turnaround. So we might as well just go ahead and get right into stuff quickly, like the turnaround on the game. You want to give us your top matchups?
Yeah, I got a couple matchups that I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. And the first one is this big matchup or the big conversation that was going into the offseason, how fans wanted us to get Kenny Galladay and the Giants end up getting him. And then this matchup of he's going to kill William Jackson and all this and that. Well, now we get a chance to see. He did well against William Jackson from the Giants perspective and when he was in Detroit. So let's see how he does. I know William Jackson. He's coming off a great game where he had a lot of PBUs and an interception, a critical interception, and a Kenny Galladay who's always hurt. I know he's struggling right now. He has a hamstring, and that was my concern when looking at him going into the offseason and in reference to picking him up. And I'm glad turns out Curtis Samuel
same thing
because of the same thing.
Not even playing, but
Galladay versus William Jackson, Todd. I like William Jackson big time in this. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm gonna go William Jackson too because Galladay is not a speed guy; he's a size guy. William Jackson is a speed guy, but he's a size guy, and so he can play his physical brand of football. And like you said, I thought when William Jackson had his opportunities against Keenan Allen, kind of one-on-one, whether it was man or whether it was more zone, and he was in his zone. I thought he did a pretty decent job, right? Yeah. And Keenan Allen is a better player than Kenny Galladay. He's a better route runner than Kenny Galladay. The thing that Galladay has on Allen is, he is a jump ball kind of 50-50 ball specialist. But I'm going to give William Jackson the edge in this one just because I think you have the quarterback thing too where Daniel Jones is not Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen have a great connection. Daniel Jones and Kenny Galladay, don't expect them to have that in week 2. So I'm going to go William Jackson.
Okay. And like I said, I'm going to follow up with William Jackson as well. My second matchup, Jared Cook had 5 for 56, but they seem like very critical and crucial times, a couple third down conversions. Obviously, no Evan Ingram as he is ruled out, which we're catching a break. But Kyle Rudolph versus our linebackers, I'm a little skeptical. Now you can say Jared Cook caught 5 out of the 8 targets, had 56 yards. But as I mentioned before, we've always struggled with the tight end. Last year we did pretty well statistically, but it seems like in the midst of the game, these
Right.
tight ends constantly get open at critical
Hmm.
points.
Right.
So my question to you will be referencing this matchup. Will it be not will it be the statistics as far as Kyle Rudolph, 8 catches, 100 yards, but will our linebackers be able to shore up that safety net for Daniel Jones
Mm.
on third downs? Do you think we'll be able to stop Kyle Rudolph on third downs?
I have to go with no right now, just because they had a historically bad third down performance last week, which in a way is good that it was historically bad, because that means it'll be tough to repeat, right?
Right.
But I think they
Right.
gave up 14 third down conversions was the most since I think 2011. It's really 15 if you include one with the penalty. Now, again, Herbert and Lombardi, who the Chargers offensive coordinator from the Saints, he was scheming guys open. I don't know that we're going to see that same thing from the Chargers, from Jason Garrett and Daniel Jones, but the linebackers are a concern. Bostic especially is a concern in coverage. And so for now, I have to say no. I'm going to just give the edge to Kyle Rudolph.
Same. I'm going to go Rudolph as well. Like I said, I don't think he'll have a big game, but I think if not careful, the potential for him to have some huge third
Right,
down.
right.
I,
Like
I
not a
just
big statistical game,
yeah,
but have very impactful game.
right. Like a 4 for 40, but like all 4 third down
Third down
conversions.
conversions. Yeah, third and long conversions.
Right. You know.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah.
So okay, and then my next one would be uh Slayton, Shepard
Mm,
versus Fuller, St. Juice. I think that's an underrated matchup
yeah.
because those two seem to always kill us
Yeah.
when we play them. It seems like. How are you feeling about that matchup?
Yeah, like you said, I'm less worried about Galladay and Tony. Tony was 2 receptions for -2 yards. Than I am about Shepard and Slayton. I believe Shepard caught a touchdown. Slayton, I can't remember the
Slayton
stats
had a
exactly.
touchdown.
Slayton had a touchdown. Shepard had, I think, 3 or 4 receptions. But Darius Slayton has been a pretty consistent
Yes,
player for the Giants. He's been a consistent fantasy player for your
yeah,
fantasy teams.
yeah.
I think he and Daniel Jones have a pretty decent rapport. Uh, Darius Slayton. I'm gonna go with Kendall Fuller. I'm gonna call for a bounce back.
Okay.
I just think that I think he's more of his type of matchup than a Keenan Allen or Mike Williams is, or even a who was the Chargers' third receiver, Guyton, John Guyton, right? The bigger guys. I think that Kendall Fuller will match up better against Slayton and Shepard. So I'm going to give that. And then again, I just don't expect them to scheme these guys open as much. I'll talk about this once you're done with the matchups, but I don't expect the Giants to do as good of a job scheming these guys open as the Chargers did.
Okay. I'm going to go with Fuller's. I don't know.
Mm.
I think this is the underrated key of the game is these two guys, Shepard and Slayton. If we can kind of get those guys stifled and have the D-line get after the quarterback. It's funny because this week Odell, I play fantasy and Odell wasn't able to play, and I had a scramble last minute for a receiver, and I saw Darius Slayton right there, and I said I'm picking him up because I know he gets busy. Lo and behold, he had a touchdown and he had like 5 catches for like 46 yards. So
yeah,
he's good.
He is a good player. He's a good player.
All right.
So who did you go?
I'm gonna go Shepard and Slayton.
Okay.
I just think they're gonna terrorize. I mean, like I said, the third down and the way Fuller played in St. Juice.
Yeah.
I
know. I get it. I'm with you. I'm gonna go Fuller, but I understand your rationale, and I hope I'm right. But I think there's a chance you could be right.
I think the key is going to be what I wish I would have saw last week was it seems like teams are going to start. And like I said, I know you're going to touch on this after the matchups. Teams are going to start getting the ball out quick. Mm-hmm. I commend the Chargers from the very beginning. They got the ball out quick.
Yes,
and that kind of put our pass rush to tired and running around. I would like to see Jack Del Rio do some press, man, because then you can't get the ball out that quick.
Right. I agree.
You can't sit back and you can't play zone and let them get it. You got to bump and run man-to-man coverage. You got St. Juice that's long. You got William Jackson that's long. It's time to bump and run these guys and let these guys get after the quarterback, get them quick passes, tips up in the air. And we got to get some of those tips. We had a lot of tips.
They did have a lot of tips. Yeah, they didn't get any luck last game.
They didn't get anything. So
no luck. Yeah.
It's coming. So a couple more. I got Andrew Thomas versus Chase. I think this is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I know the the topic last year was Andrew Thomas
last
shut
week.
down Chase.
Oh, last year. Sorry, last year.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Last year was Andrew Thomas shut down Chase and that he struggled. Will Chase bounce back versus Andrew Thomas, or will he go without a sack again?
Yeah, last week one of the matchups was Chase Young versus Rashawn Slater. We said Chase Young, and Rashawn Slater won that matchup, no matter how you try to slice it. I am going to go with Chase Young again. I'm going to go with my guy again for a couple of reasons. One, because Andrew Thomas is not the player that Rashawn Slater is. Two, I think Chase Young needs a bounce back game, knows he needs a bounce back game, and is anticipating that. And then again, I don't expect the same level of offensive efficiency from the Giants. The Giants' offense was worse than Washington's offense last year. So however much better we think Washington's can improve, the Giants still have to make a similar jump to just be average.
Right.
So, yeah, and their offensive line is Andrew Thomas he hasn't looked exactly like he was a 4th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, and he hasn't looked like that level of player. So I'm going to give this one to Chase Young for those reasons.
So do you think we get a Chandler Jones performance?
I'm not going to go there. The Chandler Jones, he's playing against Ryan Tannehill, right? No. I'm just gonna say 1 sack. I'm gonna stay humble.
Like fumble, big.
Yeah, we could say strip sack because they haven't gotten a fumble off of Daniel Jones, so maybe this will be the time they finally get one. And it may just be reaching around. When players if you're a defensive or you're a defensive player and you knock the ball out of the quarterback's hand, you don't have to take him to the ground. That counts as a sack.
That's right.
So it may just be that.
Yeah. Okay. And then my last one, which is critical, but I'll start off, I'll combine it all, but we're going to go Terry versus James Bradbury, but I'm going to go their corners versus our receivers.
That's a good one.
The second receiver for us last week, as far as receiver yards, was Diami, and he had 1 catch or 2 catches for about 10 yards, maybe.
Something like that. He was the second leading receiver.
Was Logan Thomas.
Yeah, Logan was probably number 2, but yeah, for wide receivers.
For wide receivers, I believe it was Diami Brown. And I think it went Terry, Logan, Gibson, and then maybe Diami.
Let me see. Receptions was for Washington. Receptions was Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, Cam Sims.
Okay.
One for Diami Brown actually ended 1 reception for -2 yards.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? That's just Now, granted, he had that big play, which would have been a touchdown if he didn't get it. So
right.
We'll consider that. But Todd, I'm going to say the receivers bounce back. I'm feeling Taylor Heineke. I think he's going to do very, very well. I think he's going to get these guys involved. And I try to watch back some of that Buccaneers game where Scott had game plan for this, and he looked good.
He did.
How you feeling about that matchup? I'm gonna go Terry and the guys, but like I said, that James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, Logan Rowland, Jabril Peppers.
It's not easy. The Giants defense has got some talent for sure. I guess I haven't really looked at these stats hardcore. And Taylor Heineke, he came in the second quarter. He honestly didn't get a lot of chances. He was 11 for 15, but they finished as a team with 133 passing yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick was averaging 2.2 yards per attempt. So there's no way that they repeat that.
Right.
I'm gonna go with Terry McLaurin. I don't remember the stats offhand, but he's got something like 227 yards, a couple touchdowns, something in his 4 games against the Giants, 3 or 4 games. I'll go with Washington's receivers. I haven't been able to watch back the All-22. I just finally got access to the All-22 footage, and so I'm going to be watching that and maybe trying to get a breakdown in by tonight. But it just seems like he didn't do a great job of scheming guys open. I'm not sure what the plan was. I know the plan was to get the running game going, and they had success with that, but it didn't balance with the passing game. It was just run, get 2nd and 6, and then you can't really do anything after that. So I expect an improvement in that regard because we know Scott Turner can scheme guys open and can put it together a good game plan. Maybe it was just the first game all around. Everyone just wasn't really good. So I'll go with Terry and the guys to bounce back as well.
Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and say Taylor Heineke versus the Bucks, 26 for 44, 306 yards, which was a great Buccaneers defense in the playoffs. Granted, they had not much film on Taylor.
Right.
2 sacks, QBR rating of 57.0 and a regular rating of QBR was 57.0 and the rating was 78.4. But I want you to get this. Guess who was his number one target that game?
Was it not? Oh, was it not Terry McLaurin?
It was Cam Sims.
Wow. Okay, I didn't.
7 catches, 104 yards, 13 targets.
Did not realize that. Didn't realize
13
that.
targets.
Cam Sims had 7 receptions in that game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terry McLaurin 6, Logan Thomas 5 receptions, 9 targets. Terry McLaurin 6 receptions, 7 targets. Steve Sims 3 catches, 33 yards, 4 targets. I'm going to say Cam Sims is going to have a big game.
Do you think? Well, here's my question on that: how much is Cam Sims going to play? Didn't he? He only got a few snaps last week. De'Ami Brown was getting all those snaps.
I think he has to take some of those snaps.
Okay.
I think you're going to have to.
I don't disagree because I do want De'Ami Brown to get out there, and I do appreciate the coaching staff and their how intent they are on getting these young guys reps. Sometimes I don't know. Again, I have to watch the all 22, but sometimes it just seemed like I don't know if it was the play calling or if it was De'Ami Brown just not being able to in certain situations get separation on a number of targets. So I do think Cam Sims should get more playing time. So what's the question for me? I know you said Cam Sims is going to have a big game. Or are you just making that point?
Yeah, I'm making that point. But who do you think will be the
leading receiver? Gotcha. Okay.
And do you think the ball will get spread around?
I think it'll get spread around, but I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin for leading receiver. Just because, again, you have to scheme the ball to him the way that the Chargers schemed the ball to Keenan Allen. Like they were very intent on getting the ball to their best receiver. 8 receptions for 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That's what I need to see Scott Turner do with Terry McLaurin. And he's done it, and he did it last year. It just kind of feels like we went back to the beginning of last season with Scott Turner, where he was kind of getting his footing. To me, when this is from watching not having seen the All-22 yet, but just seeing how the Chargers operated, it felt like Joe Lombardi was scheming guys open.
For sure.
Like it seemed like he was scheming specific guys open for specific plays and specific downs, specific settings. And it felt like Scott Turner was just calling plays.
Right.
Like that was the difference to me. And I'm hoping this week we'll feel more like Scott Turner scheming guys open. And that guy, one of those guys should be Terry McLaurin. So I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin.
All right. Well, that's it for today's matchups of the week.
Okay. So I'll just hit you with, I guess, a couple things on a couple of areas where, the Broncos beat the Giants 27-13 is a pretty handily. They beat them pretty handily, pretty easily. Giants scored, I think early, maybe their first drive scored, and then from there struggled. But the first thing that stands out is Saquon Barkley was the least efficient runner. I believe he only had 26 yards. So the Giants' third drive, they scored a touchdown. They scored another touchdown on their last drive. So they were down 7. They had only scored 7 until late in the fourth quarter. So that second touchdown was garbage time. It was 27-7 late. So the Broncos really handled their offense.
Right.
So the first thing that stands out again is Saquon Barkley. Back from his injury. I don't think he's all the way back. He was 10 carries, 26 yards, 2.6 average per carry. First thing you have to do, beat the Giants, is you got to shut the running game down. Daniel Jones, maybe every blue moon has the ability to just pick up, carry the team and make some great plays. But on average, it's not the case. And the more you ask him to do that, the more prone he will be to commit turnovers.
Right.
You got to shut Saquon Barkley down. They had 20 carries for 60 yards total. You look last week at what Washington did against the run. And I thought that was one thing they did well was defended the run. The Chargers managed 29 carries or attempts. 4 of those were Justin Herbert, 29 attempts for 90 yards, 3.1 yards carry. Eckler was 15 for 57, 3.8 yards. And so they did a pretty solid job against the run. And here in week 2 against the Giants, that's even more critical because if the Giants do have to go and pass the ball more, they won't have the same success the Chargers have because they don't have the same level of quarterback, the same level of receivers, or the same level of offensive line or offensive coordinator.
Right.
First thing, stop the run. Don't let Saquon Barkley do too much. And it's not really just about you have to, if they try to hand that ball for first down, you have to stop that so that they can't get in these good second and short or really third and short situations. The Chargers had so many third and short, opportunities. And that's part of the reason they were so successful because they stayed ahead of the chains. So you have to make it so that the Giants feel like they can't run the ball. We have to throw the ball. that doesn't even necessarily mean getting a lead where they have to try to throw it and come back. It means that while the game is still even, they're not having success running the ball, that they feel like they have to change their game plan, throw the ball, and that's where the opportunities come to get the pressure, get the turnovers, just throw things off with the rhythm. And then the second thing is if you stop the run, then you have to get the pressure on Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones is not very good under pressure. On top of that, he's prone to fumble. He's 18 fumbles and 28 starts, I believe. He has 41 turnovers in 39 games. If I'm not mistaken, that's the number. Maybe even less games. I tweeted it out. He's started, let's see, 13 plus 14 is 27, 28 games. 28 games. He has 41 turnovers. Okay. Washington has not managed to get but 3 of those. So they have to get pressure for 2 reasons. One, against every quarterback, but against Daniel Jones, he is prone to making mistakes and turning the ball over when he's under pressure. And that's how Washington got their turnovers. I mean, even last week, a couple times they got pressure. Justin Herbert on the second drive, they forced the 4th down because Jonathan Allen was able to get some pressure.
Yep.
Herbert checked it down, 4th and 8, 4th and 9. Mike Williams was coming open, but he didn't have time to get there.
Right.
They have to get the pressure on Daniel Jones because they will have those opportunities to get those turnovers. So for me, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, in terms of offensively for Washington, I need to see Scott Turner just scheme his players open. And I'm excited to watch the All-22 because I mean, the first 3rd down attempt of the game for Washington, I saw that All-22, nobody was open. And then you had your rookie right tackle, Sam Cosmi, blocking Joey Bosa. The pressure got there so fast that Fitzpatrick, who can move but is not mobile, had to get outside the pocket, and then nobody was open.
Exactly.
So I want to see less. I want to see less hitch route. I mean, Taylor Heineke came in and it was just immediately throw 15-yard hitch route to De'Ami Brown, throw a 12-yard out route to De'Ami Brown. Let's try to get more crossing routes. Let's try to get, some rub routes. Let's try to get some bunch and quick stuff like what he did against the Buccaneers and like what the Chargers did against Washington. Those 3rd downs, the Chargers, most of them, they had some sort of tight doubles or bunch formation where if we were playing man, which we were most of the time, it's hard to stay with the guy to get to a guy where he's not going to get 3 yards.
Yeah.
I want to see Washington do that. They had Keenan Allen in the backfield come and running out and back in. I want to see Washington do that. So that's what I need to see Scott Turner scheme guys open more than just call plays.
Right. Okay. And I'll piggyback off of you a little bit in reference to stopping the run. The first game last year when we played the Giants, Daniel Jones, 7 carries for 74 yards.
Right.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Just as unacceptable.
It is.
And he only had like 142 passing yards as well.
Yeah.
And then Devontae Freeman killed us. I think he had about 68 yards as well. Second game, you had Wayne Gallman. He torched us, 14 carries for 68 yards, and Alfred Morris. 9 carries for 67 yards. We have to stop the run this week, whether it's Saquon, whether it's Wayne Gallman, whether it's Alfred Morris, whoever it is.
Yes.
We have to stop the run. We can't let Daniel Jones get out of the pocket. We got to be ready for the read option and hit him and make him fumble. And so that's what I want to see from the defense is you got to stop the run because you want to get them into that way where they're going to make him pass. The first game, he had 142 passing yards. Second game, he had 212 passing yards. So he's not going to light it up. If you can get him into passing situations and stop that run, I feel very, very good about that. Second thing on offense, Antonio Gibson had 33 yards the first game rushing, 20 yards the second game with a TD.
Rushing?
Yes.
The second game, he had 20 rushing yards?
20 rushing yards. That's 25 yards a game against the Giants. We have to get the running game going against that team. If not, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers, Adore Jackson, James Bradbury, they're all going to tee off. We have to establish the run and not put the ball into Taylor Heineke's hands as that frequently. Got to get the run game going. I would want to see some Patterson get in there. Patterson looked good last week. turned, got
He did. He had
the
a
most of
good
what he had.
7-yard run that got called back by holding, 7 8
You see
yard
what I'm
run.
saying?
Yep.
So he did very, very good. Another thing is Cam Sims had 3 catches for the last time we played him where we lost in FedEx Field. Cam Sims had 3 catches for 110 yards. Terry McLaurin had 7 catches for 115 yards. We got to get back into that rhythm of getting these guys open. They're vulnerable. Jabril Peppers didn't play over 50% of snaps. I don't know what's going on there.
Right.
I think the key for us is to run, establish, control the line of scrimmage, stop the run, get them in long passing downs, get off the field. And then secondly, on offense will be to establish the run. Don't put too much pressure on Taylor Heineke. Although he's ready, don't put too much pressure.
I agree. Don't he knows the offense and all that, but don't put too much pressure on him. They ran a lot of RPOs against the Bucs. Do that.
Yes.
Move the line, move his throwing point, bootlegs, which we don't see them run a lot of bootlegs, but run more bootlegs. Get the ball out of his hands quick too. And like I said, his first snap last week, I got to watch Del 22, but I just know he's throwing like a 15-yard hitch route to De'Ami Brown. Maybe turn that into a 3-yard crosser and let somebody do some work.
Yep.
And then the other thing I want to add to your points as well, the last 3 games, 3 of the last 4 games against the Giants, they've managed to turn the ball over 11 times. In the last 2, they turned it over 7 times. I mean, you look at the last 2 games against the Giants, they lost by 1 point, and then they lost by 3 points. And they had 7 turnovers across the 2 games. Those are guaranteed victories if you don't. I mean, the first one, Kyle Allen had that fumble return for a touchdown when Washington was driving to score again. The second one, Alex Smith had 2 opportunities to get them, into at least field goal range, had opportunity before the half. Turnovers. Steven Sims Jr. fumbled a punt.
Yep.
The fumble on the first drive, Antonio Gibson should have been in the 20. So not only were they like you look at the turnovers Washington got against the Chargers, and they were both on the other end of the field where it's just like you got to kick off. It's like you got to punt, right? It's good that you stop them, but it's not especially advantageous for the offense. You look at the turnovers that Washington gives. Look what they gave the Chargers. They gave them the ball on the 3-yard line. Look what they gave to the Giants. They gave them a fumble return for a touchdown. They gave them a fumble or an interception, like in critical game situations. So all turnovers are not created equal. Some are much more valuable than others. Washington needs to not only not commit the valuable turnovers, but they need to create the valuable turnovers. Turnovers is going to be just a huge factor to this game. And on Taylor Heineke, he's played in 3 games. All 3 games have been losses, and 2 of them, it was kind of from behind. The Bucs game was obviously the Bucs game, but he has 1 turnover in I think 54 or so passing attempts, and that one is not his fault. It was a tipped ball, right? So he's been pretty careful with the ball, and I just hope that continues. And more than anything with Taylor Heineke, protect yourself, because if he gets hurt, I knew that Ryan Fitzpatrick wasn't going to start off 17 games today. I didn't expect it to happen this fast. Okay. I knew he wasn't going to start all 17, but you didn't feel terrible about that because you felt like Taylor Heineke, could still get some things done, and maybe even Kyle Allen behind Heineke. But Heineke needs to protect himself, because if he gets hurt, my concern is not so much Kyle Allen coming in and playing. My concern is when Kyle Allen gets hurt. And then who plays? And then we're back to 2018. And at that point, I don't know, lose and get a quarterback in the draft or something. I don't know, right? If you have to go to Steven Montez isn't even available. Who did they bring in? Did they bring in someone? Kyle Shermer. If you have to go to Kyle Shermer, then the season is over. I mean, sign Cam Newton or something? It's just so Taylor Heineke needs to protect himself. Even if it's a 3rd down, if it's early in the game, go out of bounds. Do not lower your shoulder. Don't dive for anything. Protect yourself. So that's where I'm at. But
I mean, buying the
hype for Taylor Heineke. Man, it's kind of tough not to. One reason why it's tough not to, aside from the play that we've seen, which he has not been bad, is that the guys, like the players, really believe in him. Like these guys, these receivers and whatnot, they believe in him. He has their respect. The whole team, that makes a big difference. So, I mean, I kind of am. The Broncos, they put a whooping on the Giants. Again, the Giants offense is not good. So if they come out here firing on all cylinders, that's going to look really, really bad for this defense, this Washington defense that's supposed to be, top whatever.
Yep.
So this will be definitely a big game because they need to kind of not establish themselves, but establish themselves, I guess, and like, be what everyone expects them to be. And then you play the Bills the week after, and that's tougher than the Chargers.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna have to get some momentum. Although I think Herbert is a better quarterback
than Josh Allen.
Than Allen,
really?
Personally, I think Allen likes to go for the big play, and that's where he gets in trouble sometimes. Mm-hmm. Whereas Herbert, he'll take what he gets.
Herbert gets that ball out, man. He's so decisive. He is so decisive. Golly, yes. All right. Well, we'll see. We're going to be there again. Red Zone lot should be there hopefully around 6. Get some tailgating in. First time for both of us, Tay.
Yep.
Don't judge us and don't ask us why. But first time getting a chance to tailgate. And then both of us also first time games for our spouses. So that's fun too. So it's going to be a blast. And I just hope they win, Tay, because when they've been, I don't remember the last game I went to that they lost, I think was the 2016 Giants lost week 17. Week 17. Kirk Cousins.
Wow. Winning.
Sure that was winning. I'm pretty sure that was the last loss I've been to. The last game I went to was the Giants game in New York where Adrian Peterson broke free in 2018.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Pretty sure that one. And then I was at the Monday night Giants game with RG3 2012. So I've had some success against the Giants in my, game appearances. So hopefully I'm bringing that good luck with me. So we will see y'all out there, or, if not, we will talk to you later. But thank you always for watching. This is Todd.
And this is Tay.